change the trajectory of the country forever. Now, President Trump, modern day, he's trying to do the same thing. Now, take a look at what the president said while he was unveiling his new tax plan yesterday. Watch this.
This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and I guess it's probably something I could say that I'm very good at. I've been waiting for this for a long time. We're going to cut taxes for the middle class, make the tax code simpler and more fair for everyday Americans, and we are going to bring back the jobs and wealth that have left our country, and most people thought left our country for good. We want tax reform that is pro-growth, pro-jobs, pro-worker, pro-family, and yes, tax reform that is pro-American.
And now Democrats, now they have no solutions. They're already coming out in full force against President Trump's plan, and they're going to insist that any bill that passes, it has to soak the rich in taxes. But that's not what Reagan did. And what these obstructionist Democrats won't tell you is this. Top-earning Americans already pay way more than their fair share. For example, the top 1% of wage earners in the country, they contribute 39.5% of personal federal income taxes. The top 10% of Americans, they pay 70.9%. Now, let's compare that. The bottom 50% of wage earners in America, they pay 2.8%. And there's almost, and this is a good fact, that 35% of tax filers, they pay zero, zip, nada, nothing. And by the way, they'll pay even less under President Trump's plan, which, of course, the media is not highlighting. Now, President Trump has momentum in growing the economy, which is why we need tax reform. You want to make it better. We want the engine to soar. Second quarter, GDP was just revised upwards to 3.1%. Much better than Obama. Compare that to him. The first president in history never reached 3% GDP growth in a single year of his presidency. That's history. Pay attention. Kennedy, Reagan, Obama. One side works, one doesn't. And since his election, President Trump, he's worked with all of these companies to bring jobs back to America, to help the forgotten men and women. And the Trump administration, they have either pulled or suspended 860 burdensome Obama-era regulations. Now, like Rush was saying earlier tonight, putting the agenda in place to fix the economy, it shouldn't take Republicans in Congress longer than 3 months. And unlike the rest of the conspiracy theory, fake news channels out there, you know what? On this program, we made you a promise on Monday. We are interested in solutions. We want to help people. So, to Congress tonight, it's time to get to work. Get the job done. Is 3 months of hard work serving the American people, is it really that hard? And also tonight, the fallout continues over some in the NFL disrespecting our flag, our national anthem, and, of course, our military. Now, I also asked Rush, this interview coming up in a minute, about this controversy. He's a huge NFL fan. Take a look.
They're backtracking now. Well, this is not about protesting the flag. This is not about... Yeah, of course it is. They try to say that's how it all got started. If they really wanted to make it, you think they could, if one of these players or group of them called you and said, we want a half hour on your show, would you give it to them?
100%.
Why did they do that? Why are they messing around on the sideline, disrespecting the flag, disrespecting the anthem? What's the point? They're not accomplishing anything except harming the enterprise. Whatever's happening in the NFL right now, it's not how you grow it.
You know what? That's a great idea from Rush. And as I said to him, I'll be more than happy. I'll invite NFL players, coaches, owners, those who protest the national anthem. You're invited on the show. We'll give you an hour. We'll give you 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it takes. And you know what? We'll do a town hall. You want to fill up a football stadium? We'll even do that for you. You know what? All of you can come. All you have to do is show up. And by the way, if you're really interested in solving problems and finding solutions for this country, then I think it's time that we've got to talk about solutions. And you know what? We can solve a lot of problems. Let's talk about reducing violence in places like Chicago. Let's discuss ways to improve America's horrific, broken educational system. Want to have a conversation? How about helping the millions of people in this country who have been left behind? 13 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more Americans in poverty under Obama, and we doubled the national debt. You know what? What we don't need is people like the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich, using this issue to try and divide the country even further. Don't believe me? Take a look at this.
Our country's an embarrassment in the world. there has to be an uncomfortable element in the discourse for anything to change. You know, whether it's the LGBT movement or, you know, women's suffrage, race, it doesn't matter. People have to be made to feel uncomfortable, and especially white people, because we're comfortable. We still have no clue of what being born white means.
Does that really help the country? Now, unfortunately, there are people like that, and especially on the left, they try to exploit, especially in this case, the NFL protests, and a lot of people want to advance a political agenda, political causes. And as President Trump has said repeatedly, this comes down to simple, basic, fundamental respect. Respect for the flag, respect for our anthem, respect for the military.